Hi, you guys. I'd like to welcome everyone back to my video series at 2.5 Zoom. We're going to pick things up where we left off last time. King 4 diamonds is a slightly loose cutoff open. The small blind is on a cell phone though, so I'm definitely going to raise his hand. The big blind after 600 hands also looks a little taggy, and so I like a raise. I raise 9-10. I have to c-bet the flop. Checking back this hand is not even that bad of an option. I think I prefer betting against a player on a cell phone who might make some big mistakes against betting, and just building the pot with such a strong hand against a weak player seems prudent to me. Ace-10 offsuit, I will call versus the 3x raise. I think earlier I mentioned folding ace-9 offsuit here, so this is sort of like the threshold-ish hand for me. It can make some nut draws, and so I sort of value this hand a lot more than ace-9. And I think that's reflected in the absolute equity that ace-10 has against a hijack range as well. With queen-9, I call blind versus blind, and we get a really fun flop. Double gutter. Pretty nutty looking double gutter as well. And with ace-10 on the bottom right, I don't think this hand is the most desirable to bluff with. The king is a river card that I think I'm going to look to check a lot on. So I don't see myself having a super substantial betting range. My really strong hands, a lot of them I think are going to look to check raise this river. And so, yeah, I think even though I might get some pocket pairs to fold here, I think just checking and hoping for showdown, hoping to chop a lot is an okay play. With queen 9 when check 2 on 6-8-10, I generally like to bet here. It's tricky for me to figure out what sizing I want to use here. A lot of hands in my range like 6x, 8x, or 10x might benefit from protection. So betting a little smaller to keep my range wide and to get some protection for these hands is attractive. At the same time, I think that the small blind will have a lot of bluff catchers on this board. And so I don't mind kind of, we'll say polarizing. I don't like to use that word for flop play, but I don't mind starting out by betting something like 22.50 or $20 on the flop, and then being very aggressive with my range on the turn and river. The king of spades is a great card for us. The small blind shouldn't have too many king X combos, and he's capped himself to some extent by check calling the flop. Meanwhile, quite a few strong hands still remain in my range. And so this is a good turn card for me to continue barreling, especially with this hand. And I'd like to see myself bet something on the big side. Looking at the pot size now, did I misread the action? Okay, it appears that I checked back the flop. Let's think about this for a second. Checking back is not a bad play. Keeps my queen and my 9 out a lot more lively. Also, the 7 straight will be duplicated a lot by hands in the big blind's check calling range. But normally I like to see myself bet this hand. Oh, okay, it looks like I timed out. That makes sense. I still would like to see myself bet this turn card now. However, some of my comments about all the strong hands being in my range and my opponent being unlikely to hold a king kind of go out the window now because I check back the flop. In any event, I think betting the turn is good, and I still like my sizing. Let's just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so Mustang Gino raised under the gun, and I'm going to 3-bet ace-king suited from the big blind. I'm pretty much always 3-betting this hand here. It's a strong hand to be building the pot with, and has good blockers to the really strong hands in under the gun's range. And so I like to be re-raising with this. I'll sometimes flat with ace-king offsuit, though. I'll play more of a mixed strategy pre-flop there. Ace-king suited is a much more powerful hand than ace-king offsuit in this situation.